Hello, everyone. I am Toby, the Kilted Adventurer. I am in a push toward 4,000 watch hours. I've been doing YouTube for 4 years now. Lots of interaction, lots of good time, really enjoying it, but still haven't reached the 4,000. So I thought I would start doing a few live streams. Live streams, solo, they're a little hard. So for today, I'm going to talk about a book that has been really impactful to me. That book is called Building a Non-Anxious Life. It's by Dr. John Delony. He's a Ramsey personality, works for the Ramsey Company. He started a podcast probably back around 2020, 2021 during COVID. So there was obviously a lot of unknowns and anxieties at that time, and he started with a bestseller short read called Redefining Anxiety. Talked about anxiety is a natural body condition. It is a smoke alarm in your kitchen to tell you when something's on fire. When something's on fire, there is a time and place to silence the smoke alarms so you can find out what's wrong. But I know in the past, that's all I focused on versus, hey, what really is on fire and what can we do to put that fire out? And then the smoke alarm, when there's no more fire and there's no more smoke, stop sounding those alarms. So anxiety is part of us. It is a gift from God. It is our bodies telling us that something's not right. So the book, I am going to put a link in the description. You can see that is also in the live stream for those of you who are joining live. Thank you for that today. The book talks about 6 daily choices. And the reason I like this book so much and purchased a bunch of them and gave them out as gifts for Christmas is because it is about action. It's about proactivity. It is about controlling the things that I can control. Can I control other people and their actions and behaviors and responses? I cannot. But there are some things I can control. So we'll talk about these 6 daily choices that Dr. John Delony goes through again in his book, Building a Non-Anxious Life. I recommend you pick up a copy of it. If you use the link in the comments or the description, either one, then we'll get a few bucks. So I would appreciate that as well. It's choice number 1 in the 6 daily choices. Choosing reality. I really like this. It resonates with me. It happened is a complete sentence. Until we are willing to look in the mirror and look at the situation, whatever happened, regardless of how traumatic, how much trauma was involved, I've been through some stuff. Have you? We all have. But we have to choose reality if we're going to have a path forward through healing. We can't pretend something isn't the way it is and expect it to get better. We have to look it straight in the face, call it by name. It happened, recognize it, and that will allow us to move forward. The second daily choice, and I'll put these in the show notes as well, is to choose connection. Now, one of the basic needs as a human being is community. I've heard it said that other people are an emergency fund for life. And I think we collectively saw that when we were forced to not congregate in churches or at parks or in schools. Anxiety went all-time high. But we have more access to more people through technology, just like this live stream today, than we ever have in the history of humankind. However, we are also the most lonely society in human history. So, what does choosing connection mean? It's hard to make friends as an adult. When you're a child, you're in school, you go through situations with family, it kind of naturally happens. I understand that some people have more close connections than others, but as an adult, you have to make a daily choice to choose connection. I went through a very long and quite lonely time last year by choice. I was training for an athletic event, and it caused me to have to separate myself more than I wanted to. And one of the things I wrote down after that was I planned to be more intentional about choosing connection. So I intend to and have extended more invitations, and I'm accepting most. Am I doing it at the decline of my schedule or my mental health? No, I'm not. And no is also a complete sentence. However, if I can, why not? So I have intentionally, you have to be weird, uh, invite yourself, invite others, ask people to come along with. The downside of that, they may say no. The upside, maybe you'll find a really good, close friend or a community. So we're going to choose reality. We're also going to choose connection. What's the third one? He talks about choosing freedom. So, what does that mean? Well, there's obviously still slavery and human trafficking in the world, and it's a tragedy. The folks that are probably having access to a live stream on YouTube, hopefully aren't going through that. But that's not what it's talking about. There are many ways that we can enslave and ensnare ourselves. Think about schedules. I've talked about life is lived in the margins before. If you have a book, you can see there's space on each side. There's margins. If the words bled all the way to the very, very edge and all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom, that would be not consumable. Our schedules are the same way. You have to build time in. You have to, like I said a moment ago, sometimes a complete answer is no. Choose the things in your schedule that give you joy. Give yourself the freedom. What's another way you can put yourself in bondage and then choose freedom? Clutter, junk, stuff around the house. Do you have a garage that you can't park a car in? Our house is a mess right now. We've been moving some grown adults in and out and about, so there's a few things and places they should not be and won't be forever, but too much stuff can cause a heightened level of anxiety. So do you have your stuff, or does your stuff have you? What about financial freedom? Are you in debt? Are you deeply in debt? Do you owe people? Can someone come and take your car? Can someone come and take your house? That's scary. So one way to choose freedom is to get a written budget, live on a plan, give every dollar a name, pay off debts, put together a plan. The Ramsey resources are fantastic for that. They have the greatest budgeting app in the world, and it's free. Put yourself through Peace University if you don't know how to do that. Pick up a free book from the library and read it. There's lots of great resources, but choose freedom. And I will tell you from personal experience, the more freedom I choose, it causes a much less anxious life. The fourth choice, daily choice. I think I spelled that wrong, but I'm going to post it anyway. Choose mindfulness. So for those of you who are joining the live stream now, thank you for this. We are talking about Dr. John Delony's book, Choosing a Non-Anxious Life. I'm talking about how this book has impacted me and the 6 daily choices and what they mean for me on how to build that non-anxious life. There's a link in the comments. I will pin a link to the comments, but also in the description. So if you'll click on that link, that'll give you access to that materials. We're talking about choosing mindfulness, being present in the moment. Nature is a great way to do that. But I will admit something. Sometimes when I take urban walks, I've got these in. I'm listening to a podcast or music. So I'm not being that mindful at that moment, but I am perhaps being efficient with my time. But when I hike and take you to the waterfalls, the mountains, the wonderful, fantastic places that I release every single week on this channel, Fridays, like the deep forest, that old growth forest that I will take you to next Friday. Grand Canyon was a couple of weeks ago, and then after that was somewhere north of Saudi Daisy, North Chickamauga. Yeah, that's where we were. But that really allows you to be present in the moment. These little black boxes that we have, I'm not going to show you mine. It's not got a lot of juice right now, but we all have them. Wonderful tools, but I think I read the average American looks at their phone 100 and I don't remember if it was 110 or 190 times. Probably depends on the research. Hard to be mindful when you're always being distracted. So I have found, especially with a platform like this, to turn notifications off, to check comments on purpose and only at certain times of the day. And then when I'm having a face-to-face, back to choosing connection, put it down, leave it alone, leave it at home, leave it in your car. Not always the best at that, but choosing to be mindful and present will definitely and has definitely helped me to have a less anxious life. 2 more. This one is one that I have spent a lot of time on this channel talking about, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it is kind of very important to me. So I want to talk about health and healing. Now, Dr. John Delony goes into 2 different types of health and healing. One is if there are traumas that have not been dealt with in your life, making sure you're getting the healing and taking a path forward, oftentimes with a counselor, to make sure that that happens. So you address the reality that we talked about earlier of what the situation is, and then you start down that healing path. But also health, physical health. That was extraordinarily important on my journey toward a non-anxious life. Some of these medications have some really gnarly side effects. I've told you my weight loss journey about 8 years ago that the kilt helped me in that, but I was taking 3 medications. Thankfully, I was able to put a couple of those down. Sleep, health, exercise builds sleep, and sleep fuels everything. So make a daily choice and start small. If you're currently doing nothing, set a very small, repeatable, consumable, and measurable goal. Maybe 10 minutes a day. I'm going to walk 10 minutes a day. Maybe hire a professional if you can afford to, or go to a class. There's a lot of things you can do. All you really need, though, is a pair of walking shoes and somewhere to go to start down that health and healing journey. Last but not least, and definitely not least, is to choose belief. I am a man of faith. Dr. John is as well. He doesn't specifically tell anyone what faith they should believe in. But it is very important for us to understand that there is a higher and larger power than we are. it is really easy for me to ruminate and to think about what's not going right, what are the things that are not going well in my life. When I bring it up a level and think about serving others, belief in a creator, serving a higher purpose beyond me. I've talked about legacy in the Viking mindset video that I did. That legacy can be built through faith. So your children and your children's children, up to 1,000 generations. So thank you for joining me on this live stream. I intend to do more of these. Hope to have some guests. I am lining up. We are talking about Building a Non-Anxious Life by Dr. John Delony. Look for that link in the description below, and I will pin a comment as well. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to hit that like button. Thank you for all of the subscribers that are returning. If you can find a watch list on my channel, maybe waterfalls, maybe Tennessee parks, maybe travel, please watch that and help me get to that 4,000. I would really appreciate that. And until next time, seek adventure.